Good morning, afternoon, or evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mikhail, and welcome to the third and final race here this evening for AFR season number 7. And it is the Tier 2 guys as they tackle the Autódromo de Hermanos Rodríguez here in the heart of Mexico City for the Mexican Grand Prix. Joining me is Seb, but he has a few affairs to attend to. In the meantime, he'll be joining us in approximately 5 minutes' time. I'm your host, Mikhail, and you've just come from the Tier 1 race. Hope you enjoyed the show. It was a thrilling race with a little bit of a twist at the end from the skies above. But Tier 2, it's clear skies for the 18-minute qualifying session these drivers will have to set the fastest lap time they possibly can to determine the starting order of this 36-lap race. Fortunately, we have a full 20 drivers on this grid today. A couple of reserves. One I see there is Rat, who will be replacing, unfortunately, Endocat, who suffered, I believe it was one of his wheel clamps that completely broke last week in USA before the start of the race. He'll be filling that Aston Martin seat alongside Mika. And then we have Dalek in the Red Bull filling in for Mr. Quantum Effect. I don't see any others reserves going down the list, but I'm sure either you guys in the chat can remind me, or Seb can remind me when he inevitably gets here. So, clear skies for qualifying. Mexico City, it's a short lap. It's the second shortest lap on the entire F1 calendar. Only slightly longer than I do believe is Monaco. It's the shortest lap distance-wise. And we have two Williams cars. It's not Williams, this is a Williams, it's Combat Rat. On the outlap, we have Skins Memphis Reigns, his brother and teammate, right ahead of him. So we'll get some tyre information up there on the screen. So we have three drivers opting to make their first runs on the mediums. We have the two Williams guys. No, it's just one Williams, and then Decelerate, along with Apollo Pepsi, who's no stranger to doing his first run on the medium compound tyres. So it looks like, actually, that Williams playing some slipstream shenanigans. Jumping on board with Combat Rat, you can just see the amount of overspeed that you get from the slipstream down towards the very harsh braking zone of turn 1. Make up something like 3/10 from that turbo line. You just have to make sure that you don't run deep and throw it all away in that first sequence of corners. Purple first sector, of course, as he's the first one to set a flying first sector into the first technical bit of the lap between turns 4 and 7. Officially turn 6. This is 7. Here, the first part of the S. Then you go through 8, 9, 10, and 11. We'll get a hot lap with Seb once he comes back, because I know he absolutely loves doing those.
I'm back.
Oh, welcome back. Speak of the devil, hey, ask and you shall receive. I was just saying how you absolutely love doing these hot lap commentaries, but you've unfortunately missed out on the first run, at least from your team. But
I had my headphones on while I was in the bathroom, and I heard you talking about it. I was like, oh, I gotta come back quickly. Here I am.
Here you are. Well, we have a Haas about to start a hot lap. Kalios is showing some pretty decent pace. He's just trying to get out of the way of all the oncoming traffic, as that is one of the Aston Martins going through the stadium. But Seb, you've had some good races here, some bad races here. Big mix of the two. But what I do know is that you're absolutely rapid around here. 5/10, half a second between you and Crush, your championship rival in Tier 3. So take us on a lap with Kalios as he is going down towards turn 1.
We had some disruptive preparations at turn 1, but you're braking around 100 and so meters, turning in at those poles, and just gonna absolutely nail those inside and outside curbs through turns 1, 2, and 3. DRS open now, as those soft tyres will be around 90 degrees core temperature. Braking on the curb just before the 100-meter board. Get the car over the inside curb, avoid the sausage curb for the right-hander of turn 5. Now you got the double right of 6. Flip those curbs. Just find that throttle, find that traction as you bring the car to the right for the S section, the famous X section. 7, 8, 9. Hit those curbs. Oh, careful. don't throw the car around too much, and he has thrown the car around too much, asking too much of that rear end, and he's thrown it out of control and had to abort his lap.
Well, we'll jump back with Keeper, who's the Mercedes right behind him going into this technical stadium section of turn 12, and then you have this really tricky left-hander of turn 13, so.
Turn 13, I think this corner almost ruins racing turn 13. If those were watching in Tier 1, me and Kun had a little chat between text and his voice about it. Out of 16 and 17, cross the line, keep that car to the right. The 11 for the Mercedes driver, but I was saying that turn 13 should be brought forward closer and changed to a 90-degree corner, and then you, instead of having 14, 15, 16, that truly last corner, which is 16 at the moment, becomes turn 14, and it will make racing, I think, a little bit better in that section, a little bit easier to deal with.
Well, it depends on how much runoff they can add at turn 6, what is currently known as turn 16.
Well, I know they can kind of cut the inside a bit more, the track and what they have there, so
I mean, why don't you just keep 13 sort of how it is, but get rid of 14? Just make that a straight line.
You can do that as well. I think just with how tight 13 is, it's what a great corner for racing with the checkup it creates, and then the two traction zones you have after it. You know, you kind of splitting cars apart at that point.
I mean, I'm certainly not complaining about slow traction zones. The best sector from that race just gone by. Mr. Spicer, just starting his first flying lap of the session, going through turns 1, 2, and 3. Another complex of corners that seems simple at first glance. I mean, you just turn right, turn left, turn right, but if you're in the cockpit of one of these Formula 1 cars, it's anything but, Seb. Anything but.
Anything but. You got to get the braking point perfect with turn 1. Too little speed, you're losing a lot of time. Too much speed, and you compromise your line. In the turn 2, you also got to get the right turning point for turn 1, so that you can, hit the curb a lot. Also take the right angle to open up and get that car around a third of the way to the right of the track to open up turn 2. Then you got to absolutely nail the apex of turn 2, cut it a little bit on the left-hand side over the curbs, and then turn 3 is the same. If you don't take turn 3 properly, normally because you've screwed up turn 2. If you screwed up turn 2, it's normally because you screwed up turn 1.
And it's a tough braking zone. It's a tough braking point to spot because you could be going a lot faster. Speaking of a lot faster, Mr. Spicer, he's on provisional pole at the moment, Seb.
A very good time. For what we have at the moment, very good. Keep in mind though, Pepsi, he's the championship leader. No championship rival to contend with. I think we need to watch out for him as Psycho jumps up into P3.
Some very close lap times here on this board. 1 second currently separates the top 11. With a lot of drivers in that 1:15.5, 1:15.6 as well.
Keep in mind, Skins has found a bit of form as well. He's down in the 21, so he hasn't really set a lap time. Dalek as well, he could be a shout at the moment.
See, who would be on a fast lap at the moment? I see one of the Alfa Romeos is. That's Decelerate going through turn 6. Let's talk a little bit more in depth about this S section because it can really make or break your lap. And the ripple strips here are absolutely deadly, Seb.
Oh, absolutely. In the race, they are terrifying. You have to lift over them.
What about those white lines as well?
Don't forget about that. But normally, when you get in a...
Oh,
whoa.
there he goes.
That's the session. But yeah, normally when you get into a rhythm, it doesn't bother you that much. The lines and obviously the curves can be very daunting every lap when you get up to them, and you got 50% wear in your tires, or sorry, 40%. So you shouldn't go above 50% with strategy. But especially in qualifying, when you're pushing limits, the Skins is done and he's out of the session, Mick.
Oh no. Having a look at Shane Mumford as he went through that S section you were so passionately talking about, and someone's become a cropper there. Let's go on board with Dalek. See where he is. He's on the right-hand side coming out of turn 8. And that'll do it. That ripple strip on the right-hand side, the car just loses it.
And that's what he did. He got 2 tyres on it. You have to make sure you keep your tyres off it for as long as possible. Once you get your tyres on those curbs, it tends to unsettle the car a bit. And that's what we've seen with Skins.
I mean, the
It's,
general
flooding
rule
the car in.
throughout this entire season has been AstroTurf or tarmac.
AstroTurf or tarmac, exactly.
Those are your two options. That's what I always tell the guys over at Faenza.
The great equalizer is rain, but add curbs into the mix, and it definitely changes things with drivers. Wingman a good time, 15.2. Might see some drivers other than Pepsi into those famous 14s.
We'll just have to wait and see how we go. Pepsi currently with the 16.5, which was on the medium compound tire. So that's a theoretical, because there's about 1.2 seconds between the two compounds. Oh, never mind theoretical, he's now provisional pole with a 15.1. Who needs theory, Seb?
Who needs theory?
I know, I certainly don't. Vassar starting his next attempt, going through turn 1. Looks pretty tidy. Looks a bit safe as well. Not using that AstroTurf at the exit of turn 3. This delays him slightly from getting on that throttle pedal. But this first technical section, honestly doesn't receive as much love as the other technical bits around the lap, because this sequence of corners is equally as important, because you're coming from that DRS straight between turns 3 and 4, and then if you want to go for a move, you have to get it done at turn 4.
Exactly.
Because otherwise, going around the outside of 5 and then outside again for 6 can really put you in a difficult spot if you don't have the tire advantage.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I'd say they're a more tricky section than the S section, which sounds really weird, but it's coming from someone who has flashbacked a lot of times before the X section and done it multiple times as well. When you are able to nail that S section, you get it pretty good. And though the stop-start nature of turns 1 to 3, 4 to 6, and 12 to 16, they make it really difficult to find rhythm and take those corners properly. And as you mentioned, when you toss in the fact that they are the turns 4 to 6 are really the last opportunity for overtaking before you have to wait for a whole 10 corners before your next overtaking opportunity, can be a big detriment to drivers.
Vassar was able to improve by just less than a tenth of a second, but it was enough to jump him ahead of King J. 1 millisecond separates those two, and they are just in the 1 minute 15s at the moment. Not a lot of cars out there right now. Looks like Bandcamp having a couple of issues. One driver who I know is definitely out there is Keeper, but he's looks like he's just trying to get a few warm-up laps in, and set 3 laps on his current set of softs. Currently sitting in 14th, so it won't matter too much to him. He just needs to remember to select a new set of tyres if he wants to go out and improve in the 5 minutes remaining.
See him right now. Looks like he's trying to drive with confidence, and I think he is, but doesn't look like the fastest driving. We know he's not the fastest on the grid.
Certainly not the fastest qualifier.
Yeah, fastest starter for sure. How much positions he gains in the first lap, as we say every week. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned confidence, Seb, and we haven't really talked a whole lot about the track limit issue that we saw in Tier 3. We saw it in Tier 1. We've seen it every single race that we've had here at Mexico. So what does confidence mean to you at a track like this? Like, how important is it, and how exactly do you need to build that up throughout both qualifying and the race? So what's going on with that? Describe the confidence factor here at Mexico.
Track like Mexico, you need to, in qualifying, you have to have the confidence to be able to fly through that S section and be able to be flat out. And I mean flat out through 8 and 9 and through turn 11, which is the right, left, then you got the right of 10 and then that 11 of that left, and then you're onto that third DRS straight. That's confidence in qualifying. It's also the ability to trust yourself in that situation. Get on the throttle that little bit earlier, be able to balance the oversteer of the car through certain sections out of traction zones. But in a race, it's all about knowing and backing yourself to be able to clip those apexes perfectly and be consistent and know that you will not spin the car or drop it at any point. And that's what confidence is. You see, people can get silly with it sometimes and they will outdrive themselves, but sometimes you also see drivers go into a cave and they won't necessarily hit apexes. And that's when you can tell when a driver's out of confidence because they are not committing to the corner. They're being tentative into it. And that's when time is left on the board, that's when consistency can come into play. You go all over the shot, and that's when your competitors are that much more better than you.
Decelerate, going into the stadium section as we are now finally getting some cars out there on the track with just under 3 minutes remaining. If you're just joining us, welcome, welcome. My name is Mikhail. Joining me is Mr. Sebastian, and we are here taking you through the final race of the evening around Mexico. It is the Tier 2 guys, as it looks like. Who was that just crossed the line? It was a certain clownfish.
Was Nemo.
4th place. So Alpine's both really looking strong. Now, I have some insider information about Alpine, actually, because I went out to see them in real life last night. Pretty cool. Had Tier 1 driver Batemate there as well with us. And these two were sort of on the fence about Mexico. They'd done the work. They were feeling comfortable in the cars, but not quite the track that they were the most confident at, especially through that S section, the technical stadium. But whatever they've done in the past 24 hours or so seems to have worked. I mean, 2nd and 4th, that is a great qualifying result for the team if things stay like that.
And they're right up there.
Absolutely.
We'll have to wait and see for the final 5 minutes. Nuts retired in the pits.
We've actually got 1 minute 40. I know you tabbed in late because you were off doing your business, but there's 1 minute 30 left on the clock. So this is it. This is it. And this is where the confidence... Take a shot every time we say confidence is stream. I don't know. Might not be alive by
confidence, baby, confidence.
Yeah, but this is where it really counts. Like, we're going to jump on board with Vassar. I know we've had a lot of Alfa Romeo today. But you can see he's very tentative still through this S section. And he's even, like, understeering a little bit. Not the cleanest run through there. But he still found time.
That's all that matters, finding time. And we'll see him jump to P8. But Mumford and still we have to do a lap time. Rats! Hello there.
First driver into 14 to 14.8 for the Aston Martin reserve driver. Bringing pride to the name of Andercat. As Andercat's reserve, Vassar does improve to 9th place. I think he lost a little bit of time in that final sector. Have a Red Bull just starting a lap. That would be Wingman as the checkered flag is just about to drop. We have another Red Bull. Looks like Daylake about to start a lap. We have a yellow flag at the pit lane. Keeper is going backwards at the pit lane entry. This could get dicey as an Alfa Romeo coming around the last corner. Doesn't impede him too much because that's Decelerate starting a lap. For 15 seconds, the checkered flag is going to drop. And it's all going to be left out there on the table. Apollo Pepsi will be the first driver to complete a lap. Shane Mumford goes into 6th place just before the checkered flag drops at the 1:15.4. Now, Apollo Pepsi, he needs about 3/10 to dislodge the Aston Martin from that pole position, and he's unable to do it, Seb.
And Wingman is spun as well, so...
Wingman has spun, Combat Rat has invalidated. We were talking about that confidence factor, and yet again, this final run in qualifying where you just leave it out all on the table, the drivers are overdriving the cars, and they are unable to improve when it really counts.
Daylak's got a purple middle sector right now. He's come across a little bit of traffic, but I'm not sure how much it will affect him. This could be a good lap, Mick.
The one-shot quali theory close to the right-hand side. What is the Red Bull able to do? It's 3rd place, which, at least in traditional F1, at a place such as Mexico, that's as good as pole.
Just about. That long run to the first corner, a little bit of slipstream. Beautiful. And it works a wonder. If he gets a good enough start behind Rat and Pepsi, he could be licking his chops.
Woolley was able to improve up to 14th place, about exactly 1/10 ahead of Saxa in the Alpha Tauri. Now, where's Stars when you need him, Seb? I think from memory, this is the longest run towards a braking zone from the starting grid. It'll be close with Sochi. Very close with Sochi, because that's a long run down towards turn 2 at the Sochi Autodrome, but I think this is longer. And because this is a
Yeah.
straight line as well, with basically there's zero tarmac runoff, because it's all grass. It's all grass there. It's going to be a very chaotic first corner, though, like we've seen in the 2 tiers beforehand. But it is the reserve driver of Rat representing Andocat on pole position by 21 milliseconds ahead of the championship leader Apollo Pepsi. Dalek and Mr. Spicer will line up on that second row with Wingman, Nemo, Shane Mumford, Combat Rat, Kalios, and Psycho rounding out your top 10. Your back 10 are Mika, Vasa, King J, Bully, Saxa, Keeper, Decelerate, Nut, Skins, and we have Bandcamp at the back there. I don't think that's representative because I do not think he is 13 seconds off the pace, Seb.
I think he's had a lot of issues with staying in the lobby at the moment. Let's hope it doesn't continue. But we could see a good drive from Band. Have to keep an eye on him throughout this race in the first 5 laps.
Now, I don't know about you, Seb, but I absolutely love racing around the Autódromo de Hermanos Rodríguez. And that's for one main reason. It's a two-stop. It's a two-stop, which means that there's actually strategy variation. And from what we've seen in seasons gone by, I mean, I did it myself in the Tier 1 race just a couple of hours ago, starting on the mediums and then going to 2 fresh set of juicy soft compound tires is just as effective as going the soft, medium, soft, or just starting on the soft compound tires. So starting the mediums, unless there's a safety car like there was in Tier 3, is actually not a terrible idea, because the softs are so much damn faster than those yellow stripe mediums. It's absolutely incredible.
Well, if you can keep up with the medium tyres, which is very unlikely with how fast the soft tyres are, as you mentioned, then put yourself in a good position down the line to capitalise if there were to be late safety cars or even no safety cars, because you would be part of that train. But looking at the tyre field right now, one driver on hards, and hards are by far the worst tyre on this track, Mick.
Yeah, though you don't want to touch the hards here. I mean, the mediums compared to the softs are night and day. And then I don't know what you would compare the hards to.
Hards are our own tyre. They're in another universe.
They're
in another track, mate.
Yeah, they're just nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, King J, he's not the slowest driver. I mean, he is starting 13th, but we don't know if he had a suboptimal qualifying session. Don't know if there's a little bit of pace hidden in that pass. I see a McLaren not moving. I think that's the Dragon. Yeah.
He might need to leave here. I think he's having issues with his car.
I mean, it was
I think
Keeper last week.
I think he may be having the spectator bug.
And it was Keeper last week. Bandcamp this week. Why can't Cody just make a game that works online? I mean, I know career mode is like their bread and butter, because, you know, you want to see, hey, I'm an actual F1 driver. I'm battling my favorite driver, Lando Norris. Something. I don't know. Like, everyone has different favorite drivers. But anyways, we'll see what's yet to occur. We may require a lobby restart like we did last week. But as things stand right now, 3 runners on the mediums, 1 runner on the hards. The rest are on those nice red striped soft compound tires. And if the checkup is enough, those mediums actually will be able to stay in the DRS train. And those drivers are on for a very, very interesting race. I'm surprised, though, that of the 3 medium runners, 2 of them are on the same team. I don't know why Alfa Romeo didn't decide to split the strategy. Maybe they know something that we don't, Seb.
Yeah, and Band's game has been broken since lobby restart, according to him. So I think we're going to have a... yeah, he's just been hit. We're going to have a lobby restart.
That is an interesting sound. Oh, there you go.
That is very interesting.
He's no longer colliding with the wall, but it looks like he wants to get really close to that Aston Martin pit wall. Wants to find out all the trade secrets from the second place man and okay. I mean, to be honest, like, both Aston Martins have been on absolutely stellar form recently. Absolutely stellar across all the tiers. I mean, they are third place. They are third place now in the Combined Constructors Championship. So, must be doing something
Sign
right.
of a good team. Yeah. And they're a point behind in the Tier 2 constructors. Mika's had 6 straight points finishes, and Ocat, since Bahrain, has not finished outside the points.
Oh, there we go.
Well, Ban has left the session, and we will be waiting for his car to do a formation lap, if it wants to get going.
Oh, it's just exercised its teleportation. The light sequence is beginning. We have 3, 4, 5 red lights here in Mexico City. The lights are out and it's go, go, go. Looks like Rat gets off to a pretty good start, but as does Apollo Pepsi. Look at Mr. Spicer, the 2 Red Bulls as well. It's 3 wide between the Red Bulls and the Alpine of Mr. Spicer now. Looks like Rat going extremely defensive as they make their way towards the first corner. Mr. Spicer is going to look up the inside, maybe try and get all 3 of them. No, not quite. He has to go early on the brakes, but it's Rat followed by Apollo Pepsi, and then it's Mr. Spicer. Following them through is Nemo, and then we have the Red Bulls and the Alpines battling really, really hard. It's 2 by 2 for those 2 constructors a little bit further down the field. I see yellow flags there. That's one of the Williams off there. I don't quite know exactly who that is at the time being, but both McLarens and Alfa Romeos are off to a pretty poor start as well.
Combo Rat was spun around on the inside of someone, didn't get to see who, but he's on the inside of that grass and he's down in P20. And oh, that's a Mercedes on the grass right there. That's Shane Mumford right in front of Nemo.
Biggest winner so far is Skins. He's up 6 places from his starting spot. Other good starters is Bandcamp, who knew the AI could stay out of trouble. He's up 4 places, as well as Saxa, also up 4 places. Psycho making a move as the Ferrari off. That's Bully at the exit of turn 11. Psycho now up into 7th place. We have a virtual safety car on the field. And, I mean, all the drivers will have to go to 40% racing speed. But man, oh man, that run down of the first corner. If Mr. Spicer made the absolute send of his life, that would have been absolutely incredible, but it would have meant we had a safety car at the exit of turn 3.
I was going to say, I was thinking that would end more or less in tears than you know, gasps of awe.
Well, there'd definitely be gasps of any kind.
Definitely be gasps. He's held his line. He's pulled it off, pulled it early. And we'll sit in P4 for now. What a nice start from Rat and Cameron right there. In front of Pepsi, giving a fight to the championship leader. And we could see this fight go on with DRS coming into a play at the start of next lap from turn 11 to turn 12.
The virtual safety car should be ending momentarily. Brawley has indeed come into the pits to fix his broken front wing. Kalios is really eager to pass this Alpine and AlphaTauri. He's got himself alongside on numerous occasions. They're all starting to speed up now as they head towards the stadium section, but the virtual safety car still is yet to be called in. And Kalios, he's side by side with Nemo as the virtual safety car has now finally gone away. We are racing once again as Mika up the inside at turn 13. Mr. Spice is on the off-road. Dalex on up as well. These 2 have probably come together. Shane Mumford, 3-second time penalty. Here's the first to start the penalty club. And Mika making up a couple of positions. Saxon now side by side with the sister team as well.
And look at them right behind Mika as well. Oh, the Red Bull getting pushed on the grass here. Mika will pull to the inside, Mick. Try and cover off any potential moves. But Saxon's trying to get close here, Mick.
Around the outside, tries the AlphaTauri. Mika does an excellent defensive job. Holds on to that 8th place and still within that slipstream range of the Haas in front of him. But all these guys are really, really close. Shane Mumford, actually Psycho is now currently the break in the chain. In 5th place, 1.5 seconds or so behind Shane Mumford. You can see the AlphaTauri just leading them away. And there's so many cars so close together. And at the back of this field, things are starting to get a bit dicey as well. Keeper and Bandcamp side by side towards the S's. Keeper decides to back out of that one. Probably wisely so.
And Bandcamp back in the session into P13. Let's hope he stays in the session. He's having internet issues all night long. But this train extends from P5 to P18. And this is what we're talking about here. If these medium runners can keep up with the soft runners throughout this whole first stint, game on for them.
Polo Pepsi, fast lap, 18.4, has that DRS assistance now on the Aston Martin. This should be a relatively simple move for the Ferrari to the left-hand side. Going into turn 1, does Rat pose a challenge? No, not on this occasion. He will slot right behind that Scarlet Red Ferrari and just follow him through the first 3 corners. But they can't forget about Wingman close behind. They have a bit of a gap to Shane Mumford. But those 3 are definitely in a race of their own. Meanwhile, a little bit further back, I saw quite a few moves happening as well with that DRS assistance. It's a bit of a shame that there's only 1 detection point at the exit of turn 14 for both of those DRS straights. I really think there should be a detection point at the apex of turn 2. If you don't mind me just ranting about that a bit. As Keeper, side by side with Nut. Oh, Nut's going around! He's at the wall! And that is a half a front wing, absolutely gone. I don't know how exactly Nuts managed that, but got scared from the Mercedes in his blind spot and just lost it under acceleration.
See, I actually don't mind the 1 detection point, Mick, but I don't like it with this circuit. As you said, it's just too long. Why is it too long?
There's 2 long DRS zones, because you make the move into turn 1 and then there's no counter-attack into turn 4. Now that will be incredible. Speaking of counter-attacks, Rat now with the DRS. He's lost about 6/10 or so. He won't be close enough to make a move into turn 1, but you can see that gap just going further down, down, and down. Like the prices are down. A certain red grocer.
That's an old one right there.
I'm showing my age. I'm only 21.
I'm only a year younger, but right now, Rat looks like he's just biding his time, waiting for the move on Pepsi. Wingman.
Someone who's not waiting, Mr. Spicer. To the outside, 5% ERS against medium tyres in the Alpine. Makes it easily past. Sorry to just cut you off there, sir, but I saw there was about an overtake about to occur. Go on.
No worries. I was just going to say that the top 3 could afford to fight a bit. Shane Mumford, not only does he have a penalty, but he is already 3 seconds behind the top 3. So, nice buffer for those front running podium provisional places. But, they may be getting some assistance here from Psycho if he's able to stick in the DRS of Shane Mumford and then utilise that down the next 2 straight.
Yeah, the grid is sort of forming into 4 separate groups, if you will. You have the front 3. You have this train from what is that, 4th down to 15th, 14th inclusive, and then you have a little trio of quartet, I should say. Oh, never mind, make that a trio known as Decelerate. He's doing his best Seb impression, unfortunately. Kept the overtake on.
He's missed the part where you spin back on the track in front of 10 other drivers and ghost at the same time. But we won't talk about that anymore. Not the brightest rejoin in the world.
Not the highlight of your career so far.
Oh, I've had a worse rejoin, but we won't talk about that one.
Yeah. Well, someone who's actually taking to the grass is Combat Rat, trying to get past Keeper. Keeper, known to be a very aggressive defender and having a few connection issues on our end as well. He is doing this a great scary.
Nothing worse than coming across a driver who is jumping all over the place. You need a serious pace advantage to want to get by them. And oh, you see a bit of a twitch from the Mercedes as well, but...
Both Williams on the attack. Skins on Daylight. Combat Rat on Keeper. He's got him now, Seb. Surely not. The Mercedes had such amazing straight line speed. The Combat just has to bide his time and wait yet another lap to try and make it past this Mercedes.
He might not have to wait a lap, Mick, because he might only have to wait 1 more traction zone and he'll get him right behind him, and this will be easy. We're right at home right now as Band's getting by his teammate.
Yep, Bandcamp using the DRS to comfortably make it ahead. Combat Rat now past Keeper. Let's go a bit further up. This train, well, there hasn't been any overtakes, is very close together.
That's what the DRS train does. You need a bags exit from someone at a turn 3 or 17 or to get that move in that DRS train, or just have outright pace over someone. Oh, Rat! 3 seconds to his name. Big news come later in the race if there are late safety cars, which is highly likely. We've had it in all the races so far. Could have it for the 3rd this evening.
Well, there we go. Pepsi's just equalised it. Right there. He's done that at turn 12.
Gee.
That's an unusual one.
Tell you what, he's done it in sympathy right there.
So it's Wingman in the net lead of this race after the penalties are applied. But I think Pepsi, he's trying to stretch the legs a little bit. 9/10, he tried to break that DRS. That's probably why he was pushing so much and got that penalty in the first place, but unable to do that at the moment, as looks like we have Mr. Skins in the pit lane for Williams. Bandcamp making it past Dalek on the main straight. Another victim to the absurdly long DRS zone. I think it's one of the longest DRS zones on the entire calendar as well, so it's definitely
It is quite ridiculous how long it is. So you can be back about 6/10. If the car in front doesn't juice and you do, you can easily catch them.
It rivals the Camel Straight, I would think.
Camel Straight, Monza from Parabolica to turn 1, although argue that that's shorter, but you get faster speeds because of the lower downforce and the higher gear ratios given by the game.
Let's have a look at some AlphaTauris. So they are both very close to quite a lot of cars. Psycho, that 30% battery in the tank, just sitting behind Nemo, who was able to get past him sometime in the past 2 laps. Didn't quite see when that happened, but Psycho was unfortunately unable to catch up to Shane Mumford's DRS, and that's probably ultimately why he lost the position to the Clownfish. And we have an undercutter. It's a certain rat.
It's a certain rat. He's come in, he's called it early, and undercut's big here. Psycho with a great run, Mick, and he'll get that move done before turn 1. As to how long that straight is and how long that DRS zone is.
Nemo quite low on ERS as well. ERS extremely difficult to manage around here. And those two have actually broken away from Saxa and the rest. 1.5 seconds between Psycho Nemo and the rest of the train. So I don't know exactly what's happened there, but Saxa, I don't think he was ahead of Bandcamp at the start of things.
Oh, no, he wasn't. Oh, is he? No, he was. Definitely was. Ben couldn't get a qualifying lap in. But what Ben has done, he's done what he does so well, is has tremendous race pace. He's called it up, and oh, Sax's round!
Oh no.
This be a safety car and free pit stop for Pepsi and Wingman.
Oh, he has to be careful here. There's 2 very fast cars approaching. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's 100% taking a page out of my... he's done a better job than what I did. Kept it out of their way, just about.
Yeah,
I think Vassar got a bit scared there.
And lots of drivers now. Look at this pit lane, Seb. It's so busy, you might think it's a shopping mall on Christmas Eve.
Or Boxing Day, everyone's in, and that's just the way it goes. Once one car pits, all of them will come in, because that's how big the undercut is. And we'll see us again around lap 24-ish. As drivers go into the mediums, then we'll come back in for soft tyres.
Well, Rat was unable to get past Pepsi with his undercut attempt, although he got very, very close. And you can see all this bright rainbow of colours in the first sector at the moment. Absolutely love to see all the cars so close together. But it can be quite stressful if you're in the cockpit of the car. Ben has gone for a set of softs, so he's like, screw this traffic, I'm going to take things my own way. There's a 3 wide almost ahead of him with Nemo, Skins, and Psycho. Bandcamp makes it up the inside of the accelerator. Just look at the grip on these fresh softs, and this is what I am talking about, Seb. This is exactly what I'm talking about, as Rat has lost it at turn 8.
Well, there's a promising night building up, and it's thrown away. Wait for all these cars to go by, and now you can go. But as you're saying, Band, looking for that little alternate soft med. He's going for it, and it might work out right now, because this isn't for the lead where he's not going to get a tow. He's going to get a tow, and he can get by these guys, especially at the end of the race when he does switch over the mediums. He can hold on to position, and if they start battling and they get penalties,
let's have a look at this
100%
traction.
cash in.
Oh, look at this traction out of the last corner. He's got Nemo before the DRS line. It's a drag race now. He's got 50% battery. The Dragon, full speed ahead. But unfortunately for him, all those drivers in front of him have the DRS, but Bully is a lap car as well. This could get spicy. He goes out of the way. Now Skins and Psycho side by side right in front of him. Ben has a front row seat. Look at the exit he's going to get. Absolutely beautiful from the McLaren. He's going to get Psycho. Does he have the overspeed? No, not quite to get Skins, but that was absolutely unbelievable. And Nemo now going side by side as we have a beautiful helicopter shot of these guys going through turns 4, 5, and 6.
Great move from Ben. Read that beautifully. Psycho and Skins did that the lap before, and he just was able to be in that position to take the opportunity when it came, and it did
Oh,
come.
Pepsi! Pepsi to the grass!
Pepsi's around!
He hasn't got around. He's just absolutely murdered turn 11.
He's clattered into the wall. That's what he has done on left-hand side.
He has. He's missing an end plate. He's run wide. So Rat loses it. Now, oh, Bully's out. The other Ferrari. Lap 11. A bad lap for Ferrari. Then that is a safety car. It's crash gates.
Pepsi, you lucky, lucky boy.
Wow. This actually has hurt Band a lot. Band's just going to come in. King J as well.
What does he come in for? I'm not sure. Mediums.
I mean, he's done his 2 tyre compounds, and if he really wants to stretch it, which I know he can because he's Bandcamp, king of the tyres, he could theoretically go to the end of this race.
He could. Combat Rat has been caught behind this safety car.
Oh,
I think he was looking at the one stop here, Mick, because he's stretched those softs out further than anyone else.
Well,
now he's been caught behind it. He definitely has to commit to it, doesn't he?
Yeah, unless he were to pit right now. But even if you pit right now, you're coming out in 3rd last. Yeah, he has to commit to the one stop now. But he is going to be an absolute cork in the bottle because no one behind him has laps older than 3 tyres.
He has to pit. He has to come in onto those hards or try and go long on the mediums, which you can do, as you said. Quite difficult, but it can be done if you look after the tyres well.
With the safety car laps, it is doable, but he has to bring out his inner dragon.
I just think it's not possible though. They'll drop too many positions if there is a late safety car.
Well, if there's a late safety car, you just pit for softs anyway, so it's fine.
Oh,
I'm
saying a late safety car. I think a late safety car. He is, I'd say, better or less screwed. Because,
well, he's pretty screwed right now. But he is going into the pits.
When these guys come in for their soft tyres, they're going to be that much faster if he's going to come on to mediums here. We'll see what he does. Pit crew's out down the pit lane.
It has to be mediums. It has to be.
Yeah, it looks like mediums. It is.
Forget being 3rd last. He's going to be 2nd last. Wow. That is incredible.
What a turnaround 1 lap can make.
Yep. I mean, he was caught in that awkward position where he was like coming like just out of the final corner. He was going down the main straight and the safety car gets called, and because of the delta, just had no opportunity to pit. Simple as that. That's really unfortunate. But I am really keen for the safety car restart because you've got some guys on softs, some guys on mediums, and we have our front row in 11th and 17th. There is
where's
a lot
our
of
P3
speed.
man?
Our P3 man is
P1.
P1. Our P4 man is P7. There is a lot of pace.
Big jumble up here.
A lot of pace trapped in this grid.
Couple of penalties as well. Shane Mumford, Skins, Pepsi, Rat. Good drivers right there, all with penalties.
Now this safety car has actually thrown Skins a life raft.
It has. Very much has.
Up 15 places. Absolutely incredible stuff from the Williams driver. Biggest loser is Rat, down 16 from pole position. Other notable drivers, Pepsi and Combat Rat, with their various issues. Other big gainers, Kalios up 6, Wingman up 4, as well as Keepers up 4, Psycho's up 4, Band up 6, Shane Mumford up 5. Only 2 drivers, or 3 drivers, have maintained their grid slots. It's King J, Saxa, and Nut. 13th, 15th, and 19th respectively. We will be green at the end of this lap. We start at lap 15 for 22 more laps of hopefully green flag racing. And hopefully it's good.
Hopefully it's good. Hopefully maybe we could get another safety car for
You want to fight another 5 lappers, Seb, do you?
Huh. Wouldn't mind seeing it. Every time we have it, it certainly adds to the excitement, so...
Well, inside the cockpit it adds a lot of stress, I can tell you that much. And, yeah, I have... Who's in the best position as things stand right now? Who would you say is in the best position to take
Wingman.
this race win? You think Wingman, even on those mediums?
Even on those mediums, yes. No penalties. Guys behind him's got a penalty. If he lets Shane Mumford by without fighting too much, Callior stays behind, he can try and hang on with that DRS.
Well, put that in with your betting company of choice because the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. Of course, not condoning gambling. Gamble responsibly. Only put in what you're willing to lose. So that way you don't go into any... AFR is not responsible for any...
You say that. Some people are willing to lose a lot.
You can bet your channel points. Bet your channel points if you really want. I don't know if we have any admins or moderators in the chat who want to do that. Will Wingman convert his race win? Put all your points in there, Seb. But we are just about to get things underway. He has pulled the pin. The safety car's in the pits. We are green flag racing once again, and the softs are proving why they are the superior tyre. Look at them spin, Mercedes. Mercedes v Red Bull. We don't normally see a harsh right behind them unless it's a lap down. But where have we seen this before, Seb? The Mercedes on the inside for turn 1. Later on the brakes. Oh, he has to leave the room.
Oh,
still there. He can run around. Never mind the channel points. He's gone.
Straight away, and that's all down to his bad restart. Very predictable. Didn't get it down fast enough, and Skins has been given an opportunity to get a move on Kalios here.
Here we go, Nemo as well, side by side with Psycho going down into the turn 4, 5, 6 complex. They are still wheel to wheel, the Alpine and the Alpha Tauri with the other Alpine of Mr. Spicer. Watching closely as the two now go still side by side as they approach the S section now, riding on board with Psycho as Mr. Spicer has to slot in. But Nemo has made that move stick. And look at Daylight! Oh, he spun Spicer! They've touched! Mr. Spicer now into the wall. The Red Bull had absolutely no patience whatsoever to wait behind that Alpine, and it's ended in disaster for Mr. Spicer. I have no idea what was going on there.
Oh, that's what happens when you battle in the S section. Yeah, you don't give each other a ton of respect. Someone's going to end off worse for her, and on the occasion it was Mr. Spicer, but Dalek very close to Psycho now.
Again, Mr. Spicer picks up a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting as well. Rat into the pits as well. Not quite sure what happened to him on this restart, but side by side is the Red Bull and the Alpha Tauri. Psycho decides not to fight that one too much. Try and get the better run, but just those softs have so much grip at the moment. And speaking of so much grip on soft compound tires, it is Keeper using that ERS. He's having a look. He's going for the dive. Oh my goodness, such confidence on the brakes, Seb. And he's able to pull that car up almost immediately. Easiest move on Mika I have ever seen.
Watch out, Keeper has arrived and he's steaming through. Tire advantage, and he's got a bit of confidence about him. Mercedes driver on the charge, and that was a rather nice move of Mika.
Those of you keeping track at home, that's 2 shots for this lap.
You're welcome.
Meanwhile, Combat Rat very close to the back of Saxa, going towards turn 12. But watching all these cars go through the stadium, I mean, it's a very technical, tight, twisty, slow section of the track, but if you're one of those drivers, not the spectators I should say, or drivers, if you want to get in and amongst it in the stadium section, it must be an absolute spectacle just to see all those cars going through there at basically the exact same time. But Pepsi trying to make a move as Keeper makes it past Psycho now into the first corner. Pepsi can't quite make it stick, can't quite get close enough to the back of the Aston Martin. seems to always be chasing an Aston Martin, or always around an Aston Martin, whether it's Ando, Rat, or Mika. Doesn't really quite matter.
Mika's got a job to do here. Wants to help out his team in the constructors in tier 2.
Yeah, it's true with
Got to
Bully
hold
out.
up Pepsi. Bully out. Rat down in P18. Quite a job in front of him, Mika.
Well, speaking of, Dalex found his next victim. He's hopefully not going to make it 2 from 2, and it's going to be a pretty simple move. Nemo doesn't want the same fate that Mr. Spicer had. Just a lap ago. Very wisely so. But Shane Mumford, 2 seconds out in the lead, sir. He does have that time penalty, but as does Skins. Kalios as well, falling a little bit further behind due to the difference between the 2 tyre compounds. But oh my goodness, look at this train. This train is absolutely bonkers. Psycho has a DRS. Mika then. It's then Mika, then Pepsi, then Vassar, then Bandcamp, then Decelerate, then Sax. They're all just so close together. And because all of them have that DRS assistance, no one can get past.
Exactly. Exactly. And at the moment,
There you go, Psycho.
Keeper's not pulling away. Oh, he's getting close, Psycho.
Sides
A bit of
better
weaving.
it. Blocks that front left as well. Not the most optimal line. As the softs start to age a little bit.
And I was just saying those softs are starting to age, so this is a good opportunity for Pepsi now, because if Mika's able to get by Psycho, then Pepsi's close enough to get by Psycho on the same lap at the same time, then Pepsi may get the opportunity to get by Mika as well a lap after that move is done for what would be a provisional P6 if they dispatch Keeper with those worn softs. The softs still hold out for a bit longer, so don't count out Keeper just yet. Oh, Mika!
He's locked up. He's still within that DRS range, but he is out of slipstream range. Now that can be, when in a DRS train, that is just as important. And the battery reserve that this Ferrari has, that we've been riding on board with, he's going for it. He's using that overtake. Mika has absolutely nothing left in the tank. Meanwhile, Psycho go past Keeper. They bang wheels, the Ferrari and the Aston Martin. But Pepsi ahead, but not. He hasn't got the move to look at the grip that Mika has round the outside. He's fighting this for his life. And he's held it.
He's held it indeed, Mikkel. But don't forget about that battery. He's got none left. Pepsi has 20% more than him.
Shows him the outside, shows him the ripple strip as well. That becomes the inside for this next corner. Can he get the switch back? No, not quite. Pepsi has now finally done that move, but right behind them, Bandcamp and Vasta now going side by side through turn 6. Is Alfa Romeo versus McLaren. They're still going side by side. Van has to back out of this one. Decelerate slots in behind as Kalios joins the time penalty club once again. Oh, look at this. Now, not just Pepsi. It is Decelerate as well. 2/10 is the gap. Mika so close to the back of Pepsi as well. He might actually go for it here. He's gone for it, Seb.
Odd spots. He's cut the track to get the move done as well.
Pepsi going off track, but that does mean Mika will have DRS and Pepsi won't.
And he's giving the
Pepsi's going to get marked now. Pepsi doesn't have DRS now. Now he's got Bandcamp, he's got Decelerate, he's got Saxer as well. Oh, but actually, no, Pepsi does have the DRS. Oh, it's 3 wide here. Oh my goodness, here we go. Make it 4 wide. It's banned. Oh, I don't know about that one, but look at that. Decelerate trying to make it up the inside. A little bit of contact between himself and Bandcamp. You can just about see that in the left-hand mirror behind the timing tower, but it's a drag race between Mika and Vassar now, going towards the braking zone of turn number 4. They break basically at the same point, but Mika will have the inside line for the first pick, trying to squeeze out this Alfa Romeo. Becomes the outside for 5, outside again for 6, but it looks like Vassar a little bit hesitant on the brakes a little bit early and just slots in behind the Aston Martin, but that has cost him so much time to those drivers ahead.
So much time indeed. Pepsi pulled away 2 seconds already in about a sexta's worth of racing. Keeper, next driver to pick up 3 next to his name, added to the end of the race. And I want to keep in mind, Dalek right now, P3, I think he's just gone by Skins as pitted.
Skins is in the pit lane for his second stop, and what I'm thinking will hopefully be his final pit stop onto a set of medium tyres. Yes, it is. But here we go. I think an Aston Martin is about to get mugged, Seb. Oh, we have yellow flag. That's Mr. Spicer. Turn 9 as well. That could be dangerous. No safety car called just as yet. Bandcamp's missed the apex. Band has missed the apex of turn 1. Compromises run through turn 2. Decelerate though, can't quite find it. Oh, Mr. has lost it! Oh my goodness! Oh. That is a massive, massive accident. He accelerated on that ripple strip, and that is a full safety car here on lap 21. Wow.
And it is a gift to those on the mediums.
That is softs to the end.
Nemo could be on for a race win here. Callous with a 3-second time penalty. Oh my word.
You have everyone on these mediums. Everyone has to pit for fresh softs.
Fresh softs or just fresh tyres in general.
Man, if you are Skins, you are kicking yourself. Not as much as Rat though. He's just picked up a speeding ticket.
Well, Skins had the right idea. The undercut paid dividends at the end of the race, but that safety car's come out at the worst possible time for him. Decelerate, getting greedy on the throttle at turn 3 on worn tyres, and he's bit the dust there. And, swung that rear end around.
Well and truly bit the dust. I think he did like a 720. Yeah,
he swallowed the dust there.
Absolutely. There we go. Unsurprisingly, fresh tyres for those guys. Kalios fresh softs. Shane Mumford fresh softs. But there's a bit of confusion about what tyre to be on, Seb. There's a lot of confusion about what tyre to be on at the moment. Look at this.
Oh.
Which one?
Some of them had to go onto mediums.
Maybe.
Oh, what's the right
not
call?
this
I think
many,
soft's
though.
the right call.
Not this
Soft's...
many.
Yeah. I just think soft's the right call.
Well,
mediums will come into play maybe final 2 laps, Mick, but softs should be superior for the first 5.
Then you're just going to build that gap, aren't you? You're just going to build that gap. And as the medium runners slowly but surely, I fear, off this restart, will filter down this order. And by the time that their tyres are faster, it's already too late.
Way too late, indeed.
But, that being said, even with the safety car, 15 laps, regardless, is a long time on softs. So, and they do have a pretty steep cliff, pretty steep drop off, so it's literally, I think, you don't want to check my quick counting stuff, but I think it's literally a coin flip between whether a driver is on softs or mediums.
You almost have to 2-1. Head to soft tails as mediums, because there's no picking them apart, but I think in the first stages of this safety car restart, you want to get that second gap on those medium runners, get out of DRS so you don't pull them along. So I think soft is probably the way to go if you're up front, but you see more of the middle of the pack on the soft tyres than anything.
They want to make up those positions. It's Pepsi. Giving a nice hello to his Mercedes comrade. Does it again. Saying hello. He's actually overtaken him. I don't know if that was a correction of a place. Because I have a memory of the goldfish. So.
Yeah, I swear Pepsi was behind Keeper, but not entirely sure what happened there.
Well, we'll have to wait and see after the race. So, Nemo. Pretty good spot. He's got pace. We've seen that in qualifying. He's on the best tyres. Doesn't have a penalty yet. I wouldn't discount any of these guys with penalties though either. Especially like, I mean, you never discount Pepsi. He'll be rapid. Always is somehow.
And on softs.
Yeah, he's on softs too. Oh, that's a spin. Saxer has lost it.
This might affect the safety car coming in here.
It has. I honestly think it has. Unless Saxer Oh,
No,
never mind.
just there.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That is so unfortunate. But Shane Mumford will lead them away. Now, Kalios has his overtake on.
Careful,
I
Kalios.
am very scared.
Careful.
Oh my goodness, he's leaving it very late as Shane Mumford. Very close to the back as Kalios. He's left it very late. But we are racing once again. And Skins has read that absolutely beautifully. Look at this. He's got the slipstream now. Knight has been disqualified for blocking the pit lane off a spin. But Skins got one up the middle. A little bit later on the brakes, so Shane Mumford defends it as Nemo and Pepsi now going side by side into this next section. Oh no, Nemo! No! He's gone around. Oh,
Pepsi's ran as well. Pepsi's
oh
ran as well.
Oh my goodness. Pepsi around as well. The two guys that were fighting now at the back of this order. Kalios around the outside of Skins going through turn 5 and 6 now. Oh, there's barely room. They're pushing each other off the road, Seb. And this has allowed Dalek to really close up to the back of these two. Oh, Kalios!
Right position. Oh, Kalios around. Could we see another safety car here, Mick?
Oh, I don't know. It's just wing damage and the debris is off of the circuit. But man.
Dalek in a prime position though, no penalties. Skins in front is a penalty. Mumford in front is a penalty. The two soft runners behind him both have penalties. Mika and Keeper. Could be on for a good win for the Red Bull driver. Still all to play for though. But the cold tyres, I tell you what, they've killed Pepsi's race and they've killed Nemo's race.
I mean, in theory the soft should have been better, but I think all the spinners have been soft runners. So I am absolutely stumped on what exactly has happened.
I think they've just gotten greedy because you got to realise that these tyres don't get above 100 degrees, I believe, in race conditions, in the core temps, the soft tyres.
Well, there we go. Combat makes it past Vassar. Keeper makes it past Mika as well, but not quite just yet. Keeper using a little bit of that ERS to stay in front of the Aston Martin. And there we go. He's completed the move now. So Keeper is your lead runner on the softs. Psycho struggling a little bit to keep up with the top three as things stand right now. 1.0 seconds. He's the first driver outside of that 1 second DRS window. But man, oh man, do these soft runners have a lot of work to do. And because of all their spins, they are going to feel even worse at the end of the race.
Oh, yes indeed. Can we see a combat route win here?
Potentially, but what I do know is that Pepsi has just gone around the outside of King J for 12th place. And now he's attacking Mr. Spicer. Spicer has to go defensive into turn 13. This Ferrari is so... Oh, he's hit him! He's spun Mr. Spicer around. Spicer cannot catch a break. Oh my goodness me. That is definitely going to be a penalty coming Pepsi's way.
Very much. He hasn't let him by either, so 100% the same down penalty right there for Pepsi. Position changes up front. Skins is now taking the lead from Shane Mumford.
But at what cost? That ERS light is flashing going down towards turn 4. And Mumford isn't the slowest driver either, but right behind them, Keeper, Psycho, Sauce versus Mediums, Psycho forcing Keeper to use the off-road there, just from how tight the track is, but Keeper is going to be like, yep, there's grip on that AstroTurf tarmac outside the racetrack, I don't mind. But he gets a little bit squirrely coming out of turn 8, and we've seen how that can end in tears many times before.
Very much so. Combat rat. Really all over the back of Miko, but he just can't find that move at the moment.
Now, because this Keeper has overtaken Psycho, these guys have caught right back up to the DRS train. Like, Keeper is in Dalek's DRS right now. He's right on the cusp, but he was within 1 second at that detection point. Yes, there we go. DRS for the Mercedes. So that means DRS for all of these drivers. It's a drag race now between these guys. Keeper without the slipstream though. Psycho to the left hand side. Mika using that battery as well has to settle in behind them. Keeper goes ultra defensive as a yellow flag. Kalios around at turn 10 and 11. But here we go. Psycho. Has he got the exit? No, not quite. But Saxo losing it in the stadium section. It's at turn 14 and 15. Vassar. Wingman. Side by side. Where have we seen this before? And Pepsi trying to do... Oh, you make it 3 wide, Pepsi! Oh my goodness!
Jesus.
Full ministry from the Ferrari, but he makes it 1. Outside of turn 7 is never going to work. He's gone off track though. That's definitely going to be a warning for Ferrari, yeah. So he's trying to carve his way back, but at what cost?
I'm certainly not leaving it to question Combat Rat and Maker though.
Side by side in the stadium.
Oh, it's so awkward, Mikhail. It is so awkward, that section.
It really is. So here we go. DRS assistance. Pepsi. Going to be an easy move on Wingman as Kalios is staying well and truly out of the way of the cars going by. That's why there's yellow flags in that first sector. But we'll jump up with Mr. Mumford as he's about to attack another Williams car yet again. But he has to keep one eye in front, one eye behind because Dalek is really close as well. And Keeper so much later on the break. Oh my goodness, Keeper.
Oh, he needs to be careful. And Dalek should be wary of him because Keeper can get quite aggressive. And Dalek's got it all to lose at the moment. He's in that position to win the race.
Yep, doesn't have a penalty to his name or the drivers around him do at this point in time. Closest gap on this grid.
Oh, sorry. Combat Rat's got a great run on Psycho here.
Oh, just doesn't quite have the straight line speed. Psycho using a bit of that ERS deployment to stay ahead. Goes semi-defensive into turn 13. But stays ahead of the Williams. So we'll see if Combat's able to get the move done this time. Psycho. A bit more straight line speed. Apollo Pepsi. With the fastest lap so far. He's just staying with them. He's not like losing anything, but he's not really gaining anything either. But speaking of gaining, Seb, it's Shane Mumford outside of turn 1 as Keeper gets forced out of the way trying to make a move. And he falls down to 7th place. As we have a fight for the lead. It is Shane and then Skins. Shane will hold on to that position he just took with DRS assistance into turn 5. And that is why we need a detection point at turn 2.
Well, either Keeper... Oh, it's a bit of position changing. Maker's been spun around here.
Oh no.
He can't do anything. He's just got to sit there. Now he can go. But as I was saying, Keeper just understood into the Dalek by the looks of it. Dalek's got a time penalty.
Oh my goodness me. Dalek.
And Combat Rat's going for a move on Psycho now. Into turn 12, Mick. This is going off at the moment. Final 8 laps.
Oh my goodness. Where is this race gone, Seb? Wow, only 8 laps to go. Soft's advantage is dwindling by the lap. Psycho has lost DRS with all the kerfuffles going on around him. And now Combat Rat is going to easily make that move past. Pepsi makes a move as well. Skins also making a move on Shane Mumford going into the first section of corners.
And Mick, Combat Rat's just
Pepsi!
those.
Oh my goodness!
Pepsi!
Oh my goodness. That was too close. That was too close. Oh, he's hit Vassar too. Nemo, 3-second time penalty now down in 11th place.
And Combat Rat
is going on?
I don't know. Combat Rat's within that.
Oh, Vassar's gone for a late move.
To make use of it. No!
Vassar.
I don't think he's. Oh, to be honest, Mick. Pepsi has given it a bit to Vassar here. I wouldn't be surprised if Vassar goes all out on Pepsi if he gets the opportunity.
Well, after how things went in that first sector, might be starting to get a bit hot under the collar, especially as that lap counter slowly but surely ticks it. Well, not even slowly. It's ticking down at a rate of knots. And Nemo is coming in at this Alfa Romeo at a rate of knots. Inside for turn 12. A little bit later, it breaks. He's got the corner to make sure he left room. Vassar turning in slightly early. Scared at the Alpine.
I would say give that position back, but he got a time penalty from it, so
I don't know.
I'm sure he entirely needs to.
Meanwhile, at the front of things, Dalek. Drag race with Shane Mumford. Later on the brakes is the Mercedes, but he's missed the apex, trying to leave some room, goes over that curb, and almost just goes straight into the Red Bull.
Oh.
And now Combat Rat is going to have a run at these two.
And Combat Rat's got a penalty somehow. Some way he's got a penalty. They're all crumbling here, Mick.
And the more these guys fight, Psycho's tyres are going to come into it. He might not have the
Psycho,
best.
Bandcamp could even get into the mix here. He's got to speed up though, Bandcamp. He's got to find some time in those tyres and in that car because he's 6.5 off it, but he's a chance.
There is the penalty situation for the folks on the pit wall. So I know you'll all be conveying this to all your drivers, asking what the gaps are. So there you go. That's the penalty situation as things stand at the moment.
I can't believe that from Dalek and then Combat Rat to be able to get 3-second time penalties when they were both in brilliant positions.
Well, Psycho needs to make it past Keeper, and he needs to make it past now. Use that 43% battery that he has.
Oh, Dalek could still be on for the race win here. That gap between Psycho and him is 3 seconds. Keeper could be that cork in the bottle.
He most certainly could be, but Psycho has indeed made the move.
Oh! Keeper's gone for a lunge and Keeper might be spun around. He's just held on to it though.
Oh my goodness. I mean...
Dangerous lunge and Psycho could have damage. Why did he go for that?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on inside the head of that Mercedes driver. Only he will know that, but the laps are really dwindling. The gap is 2.9 seconds between Combat Rat and Psycho. Psycho needs to get a move on, find his rhythm once again if he wants to have any shot of salvaging. Well, he wouldn't even salvage it. He could be on for a race win as things stand right now.
Very much so. He's got to get within those 3 seconds of Dalek, and he's not. He's about 3.2, 3.3. It's just fluctuating at the moment.
And the DRS is certainly not going to help the AlphaTauri because all three of these guys are going to have DRS. However, they may be battling into the first complex, and that is what Psycho is banking on, but he needs to shake this Mercedes off one way or another. Here we go.
Keeper's not going to go away easily.
Absolutely not. Neither is his teammate Shane Mumford up the inside of Skins, and he's gone really deep. And this is going to hold up these two.
It's such a big lunge, and it just really wasn't going to work. I don't understand why he would do it.
Oh, here we go. Dalek on the inside. Tries to make it past one of them. And he's made the move stick. Combat Rat with the switchback as Psycho and Keeper fighting yet again. This is not what Psycho needs. But Keeper, he's got nothing to lose. He doesn't care.
He does not care at all. And Dalek's been given a lifeline here. All that battling dropped Psycho within that 3 seconds. And then Psycho battles Keeper. And he's back out of that 3 seconds.
Make that 9 seconds. Now for Skins in third place on track at this point. I might as well just leave. I'll leave the tyres up.
Leave it.
Leave the tyres up for now.
Bring the pens back up on the last lap.
Yep. That is what we all do. All eyes on this front quartet and that gap between Psycho and Combat Rat. Psycho's able to keep it clean. He's currently on for a runners-up position. Meanwhile, Dalek gaining on Shane. This could be well and truly the race winning move, but Shane fights it back. Doesn't quite.
And Skins,
Skins is around.
He's tagged the left side of Shane Mumford's car, and he's spun around. Well, I don't think that is Shane Mumford's fault. Skins just isn't in a spot where he is significantly alongside into turn 2.
Meanwhile, Keeper got past Psycho. Those soft tyres still working with 3 laps to go. And it's this one I'm asking, sir, when is that crossover?
Oh, it might be now. Shane Mumford's gone deep into turn 7.
Uh-oh, here we go, yellows again in sector 2. There will not be any more safety cars as there's only 3 laps remaining. Combat Rat well within that DRS range. Shane Mumford just holding on. I think Dalek might have this one. He might have just done enough. That move on Shane was race critical. With 2 laps to go, it is the Red Bull leading things away with Psycho currently in a, what is that? A net third, I think.
It isn't net. No, it isn't. It's net fourth. And he's still battling the guy that he would overtake for fourth position. This could get very dangerous. He's already dropped out of DRS range from the guys in front and that 3-second gap. He needs to make sure he holds on to B4 right now.
Oh, Shane does have that 6 seconds. The two in front of him have only 3. We'll get the penalties up for the rest of the race.
Oh, it could come down to a last lap shootout here. Combat round within a second of Dalek. This is getting tight, Mick.
And he's going to have DRS as well, combat. They can't rest easy.
If he gains and gets within 4/10, he's a real shot.
Put your bets in the chat. Is it going to be a Red Bull? Is it going to be a Williams? Or is it going to be someone completely different on this podium? Because, God forbid, these two come together on the last lap.
And Dalek is blinking. Keep in mind, Combat Rat's nearly blinking as well. He's just going to be so tight, Mick. Hold on tight.
He's gone deep. Oh, he's lost the rear as well. That's the race over. He's lost DRS. He's blew it. In one corner.
He got greedy. He got so greedy.
One corner and it's all go. 1 lap to go. And Pepsi has come through as well. He's trying to overtake Psycho as well. And there we go. To the right-hand side. Easy as you like. Now, Combat Rat fighting with Shane Mumford as well. All these guys with 3 seconds aside from the Mercedes in third. Psycho keeping it clean. Doing what he can to secure as many points as possible for the AlphaTauri team. Bandcamp as well, right behind him.
Pepsi looks for the move on Keeper right now. Keeper's gone deep. Could open up the door for Pepsi in this second sector. He could go for this here.
Oh, no, don't tell me. I think turn 12. He's able to stay this close throughout the whole S section. He can well and truly make a move into turn 12. Oh, no,
the
I don't know about that.
He needs a killer run out of turn 11. He might get it on Keeper.
Oh, Keeper's messed up.
Struggling.
Keeper's struggling. Here we go. DRS. One last shot. Keeper is blinking. Goes ultra defensive. Around the outside goes the Ferrari. Oh, he's pushed him off the road. As the confetti goes off, it is Dalek. As he rounds the final corner, he is a tier 2 race winner for Red Bull. And he'll take the max points with Combat Rat in second place, and it will be Pepsi.
Oh, Keeper's really fun, and Bam's into P5!
And there we go. Band finishes in 5th place. Of course, with the connection issues, that's why he's dropped down the order. But your top 3 are Daylight, Combat Rat, and Shane Mumford. With Psycho in 4th, Wingman in 5th, Pepsi in 6th, King J in 7th, Band in 8th as things stand right now. Before corrections, Vasa in 9th, and Nemo will score a single point for the Alpines. Man. Combat, he'll be kicking himself after that one.
Very much so. He just had to keep it clean out of 13, 14, 15 into 16 and through 17 and didn't do that.
Yep,
Lit up the rears.
Went deep at 13 and then got too eager on the throttle because he's like, oh great, I've gone deep. Now I have to get on the power earlier to try and maintain this gap, this DRS range.
And the thing is, even if he was at 8 tenths, he just closes up 2 tenths for the first 2/3 of that straight. He'll get to around 4 or 5 tenths into turn 1, and then he's got a chance. He's still got a chance on the run down to turn 4.
What could have been for Team Williams, unfortunately goes up in smokes. In second, still not bad. 18 points. But it isn't 25. That goes to this man, Mr. Dalek. Representing the Red Bull Racing Honda team. Takes top spot here at Mexico. Making that 2 race wins, I think. I forget who won in Tier 3. At least 2 race wins for Red Bull here in Mexico. Kind of akin to real life, if I do say so myself.
Almost.
And the Red Bull's always been great here. But it is Dalek, your race winner. Runner-up is Combat Rat, who does secure fastest lap of the race as well with the 1:17.1. But unfortunate, just lost it We call that losing it in the clutch. So, Shane Mumford rounds off the podium. Psycho in 4th, Wingman 5th, Pepsi in 6th, King J in 7th, Bandcap in 8th, but I dare say he'll be promoted to 5th place after the time
4th place.
shenanigans. 4th place maybe, even if he got past Psycho across the line. Vassar in 9th, Nemo in 10th with Keeper, Rat, Mika, Mr. Spicer, and Skins with Saxa and Kalios a lap down with Nut, Decelerate, and Bally unable to finish this one, unfortunately. What a race! All 3 races were absolutely action-packed, filled to the brim with absolutely amazing, amazing battles, and it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable just how tight the racing has become in AFR over the past 3 seasons. I mean, you remember back to the times when Revo would just completely dominate every single race, and that was that. And you always had dominant drivers in Tier 2 as well. You could think back to Coach, you think back to Matt Dabry and Ali as well. A lot of great talent we have here at Aussie Formula Racing, and to see them just going all at it is really quite a spectacle.
And lucky enough that we get another 4 rounds of this season 7 before we have our 14 race season.
Yes,
I believe so.
That'll be very, very quick season 8. Do stick around for that. But next week, I believe we head further south, Seb.
Further south indeed, to Brazil. A great racing track.
The Autódromo Jose Carlos Pache for the Brazilian Grand Prix. A classic track. And one where overtaking, I'd argue, is even more difficult than at Mexico.
Still a premium though, with that long run from the final corner to turn 1.
Yeah, but
or
then
what
you've
was
got the
final
run.
traction zone.
Well, then you've got out of the center S into turn 4, and that corner is really tight. And I speak from experience. If you get on the ripple strip at the apex of turn 4, and turn 4, mainly turn 5, but turn 4 is pretty dodgy as well. You're in for a rough time.
Yeah, quite so.
I wonder if we'll see a Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen situation.
Oh,
I'm
I
sure
wouldn't
you
be
will.
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Someone's gonna be brave and think they are all that, and try that move into turn 4 and not pull the car up. But all to be seen.
Well, that's unfortunately all the time we have for this evening. Any shout-outs before we end stream tonight, Seb?
Shout out to Ali. He will find out after the stream.
Yep. All right. Shout out to Ali. I actually saw his POV stream had an amazing overlay. I don't know how he got that to work, but props to him. Yep. Shout out Ali. Unfortunate for the Spinala, but it happens. Shout out to you with your Spinala as well. Last
The
time I mentioned
glorious
it, I
one.
promise. Yeah. Shout out to all of you lovely viewers, and shout out to all the drivers as well for making that an absolutely entertaining race. And might need to subsidize combat therapy sessions after bottling that one. But that's all the time we have for this evening. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey. We will be back next week for, oh my goodness, counting, round 21, I think.
21, that's correct,
round
or 24.
21, 9 plus 10 at Sao Paulo, Brazil. You won't want to miss it. If it's anything like the races that we've had the 20 rounds previous, it's going to be absolutely incredible. My name has been Mikhail. Well, it is Mikhail, but can always change it later if I really want to. Joining me has been...
No, you change your name, man.
Yeah, now I change it. Absolutely. This has been Aussie Formula Racing. We will see you next week, and always remember to stay safe, wear your seatbelt, and don't drink too much on Saturday nights.